Ladies and gentlemen, I am Staff Sergeant Monfiero, and I will be the narrator for today's ceremony. On behalf of the Commander, 60th Operation Group, Colonel Greg Johnson, and the men and women of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, welcome to today's Change of Command ceremony, in which the reins of responsibility and leadership will pass from Lieutenant Colonel Vincent Livy to Lieutenant Colonel Justin Alberico. Please stand for the arrival of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation provided by Father Henry.
Let us pray. Loving Lord and God, we pause and marvel at how you have imprinted on every soul the image of God. You have instilled in us divine gifts to use for the benefit of others and to reflect the likeness of our Creator. In light of this gifting, we offer thanks today for the talents of Lieutenant Colonel Vincent B. Livy at his leave-taking, while we welcome Lieutenant Colonel Justin S. Alberico, who steps forward bringing his own qualities of leadership to help fulfill the call for duty, honor, and country. Over the past 19 years, Colonel Livy has continuously provided excellence and leadership at Travis and in his previous assignments. Dear God, continue to inspire him, stir up within him his God-given talents to facilitate the high level of service for which he always aims. May his future be his legacy to those who follow him. Provide social, emotional, and spiritual support for him and his family, for his wife Colleen, their two sons Hunter and Parker, and their daughter Skylar. We are grateful they will remain at Travis for another season, serving the military mission as well as the spiritual mission of St. Michael Catholic Community, where they are a blessing to many. May that which follows, the changes and challenges ahead, draw them closer to each other, strengthen them, and offer unexpected joys and unforeseen opportunities. Lay your guiding hand upon Colonel Alberico. Help him to navigate the opportunities and challenges ahead with integrity, leading by example, applying compassion and patience where it is most needed, mentoring those who are in his charge. Help Justin to receive the guidon today as a sacred trust to guard and to exercise with economy and diligence for the benefit of all. May his greatest team, his family, always be Team Alberico, with Emily, his wife, and their remarkable children, daughters Madeline and Sophia, and sons Jude and Jacob. May every door open for them at Travis. We bid Godspeed to Colonel Livy for the 6th ARS, and we offer God's richest blessings to arriving Colonel Alberico. May their vision remain clear, their paths be well-defined, their integrity luminous, and their hearts undaunted by the years ahead. Be with all the women and men of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron. Guide them as they fulfill their mission, ready and able to support all airmen and their families and our great Air Force through their unique vocation. Bless our country and our leadership, that we may always be worthy of your care and support. We pray this in your most holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. As you will notice, today's ceremony will be uniquely executed, as it is vital that we continue to fight the COVID-19 virus by maintaining social distancing. This situation has and will continue to present us with challenges that we will overcome. The change of command ceremony is rooted in military history dating back to the 18th century. At that time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangement and symbols unique to each particular unit. The flag served as a rallying point and a reminder of their allegiance to their leader during battle. To this flag and its commander, military members dedicated their loyalty and trust. When a change of command took place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming command in the presence of the entire unit. All unit members could witness their new leader assume the responsibility and trust associated with the position of command. He or she who possessed the flag also held the unit member's allegiance. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history. Our goal today is to continue the change of command tradition while recognizing the constraints of the unprecedented times we are currently in. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the official party. The presiding officer, the commander, 60th Operations Group, Colonel Greg Johnson, accompanied by his spouse, Patricia. The outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Vincent Livy, accompanied by his spouse, Colleen, and children, Hunter, Skylar, and Parker, and his father, retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Brian Livy, his mother, Roberta Livy, and his father and mother-in-law, Bob and Nancy Crowley. Also in attendance, Lieutenant Colonel Vincent Livy's brother-in-law, Tom Maros, his spouse, Heather, and their children, Abigail and Theodore. The incoming commander, Lieutenant Colonel Justin Alberico, accompanied by his spouse, Emily, and children, Sophia, Jude, Jacob, and Madeline. We are also privileged to have with us today several distinguished guests. Air Force Civic Leader and Travis Golden Bear, Ms. Sandy Person. The Vice Wing Commander, 60th Air Mobility Wing, Colonel Zachary Jerome, accompanied by his spouse, Kelly. The Command Chief, 60th Air Mobility Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Robert Schultz, accompanied by his spouse, Donna. The Deputy Commander, 60th Operation Group, Lieutenant Colonel Justin Watson, accompanied by his spouse, Vanessa. The Superintendent, 60th Operation Group, Chief Master Sergeant Eric Fierro. The Honorary Commander, 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Mr. Jerry Knight, accompanied by his spouse, Lisa. We would also like to extend a greeting to all members of 6th Air Refueling Squadron and members of Team Travis watching today's virtual ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the presiding officer, Colonel Johnson.
All right, thank you, Staff Sergeant Monfiero. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see so many smiling faces outside and inside the masks, but what an incredible setting on this beautiful California day. Also, I do believe from protocol, this is the last of our change of commands to cap off the season of change. So here we go. I know we got some head nods on that one, so that's good. Mrs. Persons, thank you for being here with us. We are so grateful to have you as an advocate for both our wing and community and the far reaches of the command, so thank you very much. Colonel Jerome, Miss Kelly, Chief Schultz, Miss Donna, thank you for joining our family this morning, the 6th Air Refueling family this morning on this special occasion. I also want to thank you for your steadfast leadership, coaching, mentoring you provide our wing and 60th Operations Group executing rapid global mobility operations. Lieutenant Colonel Watson, Chief Fierro, thank you for being great teammates and for your leadership. To my beautiful wife, Patricia, thank you for your continued enthusiastic support to our amazing Operations Group family, especially your support to Colleen and Emily as they embark on their respective new journeys. I will use this opportunity to tell you what you express to our command spouses, that you're awesome. And the smile says it, so that's good. Our families, whether near or far, play such a loving and supporting role. Colleen, Hunter, Skylar, Parker, it's great to see you all. What an exciting and I know bittersweet day to celebrate and reflect on a phenomenal 2 years experiencing the highs and lows of Squadron Command. It is a tough yet fulfilling one, Colleen, one that you accomplished with passion, energy, composure, grace. It would take much longer than 6 minutes, 6 hours, 6 days, or even 6 weeks to describe how your leadership, mentorship, support, and love for the entire extender family was so instrumental in mission success. It was simply amazing to be a witness of what you have done. You and Vince are an incredible team. Patricia and I want to thank you for all you have done. We will miss you and excited to see what the Air Force future has to hold and offer. Retired Colonel retired Brian and Mrs. Roberta Livy, so happy you were able to be here on this special occasion. Thank you for your service and for the support you provide Vince. Same is true for Mr. and Mrs. Crowley with Colleen. This is truly a family effort. Emily, Madeline, Sophia, Jude, and Jacob, welcome to the land of the Delta breeze, and in some cases the Delta wind, not just the breeze. I know Travis has been on the desired location list for some time, and I know you are here about to embark on an amazing journey. Patricia and I want to say thank you. Thank you for the role you are stepping into and the impact you will have on the extender family. In our short time together, we know you and Justin are a great team. We look forward to getting to know you and are excited for what the future holds for you over your command tour. Lieutenant Colonel retired Dave and Mrs. Jane Alberico, I know you are watching virtually. Thank you for your service and the continued support you provide. I know you are beaming with pride. Group commanders, squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, civic leaders, honorary commanders, family and friends, and the men and women of the extender family. Whether in person or watching virtually, I am grateful for your time this morning as we celebrate two exceptional leaders in this symbolic tradition. Before proceeding too far into remarks, I want to take this moment to recognize the change of command ceremony team led by Captain Smith and Technical Sergeant Klaus, and also the 60th Air Mobility Wing Protocol and Public Affairs staff. Thank you for your time, dedication, coordination, and attention to detail leading an outstanding event under certainly unique circumstances. Priest Henry, thank you for your spiritual words and support to the Livies. Finally, thank you to the maintenance group mission partners for providing this awesome KC-10 background, a reminder of what rapid global mobility looks like up close and personal. The year, 1929. The names, Spots, Aker, Casada, Halverson, and Huey. The aircraft, the question mark. The result? A new endurance record of 150 continuous flight hours made possible through air refueling. While not the first air refueling event, lessons learned, documented by then Major Spots, advanced a vision. Fast forward 90 years, and 2019 United States Air Force doctrine states, the ability of air refueling to extend the range of aircraft and airborne forces and provide presence and persistence occurs through its force enabling, force multiplying, and force extension capabilities. These provide the Joint Force Commander the ability to maneuver and mass forces to deter, dissuade, or destroy the enemy at any location where they are least prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, business is booming at the 6th Air Refueling Squadron to effect operations in support of our national security objectives. In fact, over the last year, the squadron leads the KC-10 enterprise in missions flown at 303, number of sorties, 421, flight hours executed, 2,466.7, sorry, Vince, and cargo tons carried, 358.9. Whether conducting strike package air refueling to prosecute high-value targets, providing medical evacuation support, or conducting air refueling tanker symposiums to advance air refueling tactics, techniques, and procedures with allies, extenders, you have made your mark, and certainly beyond the 6 sticker tags at the front gates and back gates. But be proud, especially of what you have accomplished executing Lieutenant Colonel Livy's vision and intent. Quote, "We must either wear out or rust out, every one of us. My choice is to wear out," end quote. Theodore Roosevelt. Vince, from our first interaction, I knew you were operating on one speed, full out. Dare I say, the 6th speed. You have kept accelerating in your commander role since day one. There was never time for rust. For the last 2 years, you brought it big, and you're focused on 3 priorities: supporting the mission, investing in people, and extender pride vaulted your team to new heights. Vince, you are an exceptional leader with a huge caring heart and a passion for people and the mission. And I would like to expand on this to best paint the picture of your command legacy. First, your passion to invest in people. It is an investment of time, setting the environment for coaching, mentoring, professional development, and capitalizing on opportunities. This by far is an investment with the greatest return for each individual and our Air Force. I thank you for our conversations on how we can best align officer and enlisted members for his or her individual success. It is also your passion to create and foster an environment that allows for deeper connections with people through new resiliency efforts. With 86% of the squadron either deployed or about to deploy or just returning from deployment, your benchmark caring approach is phenomenal and has sparked other units to do the same. Speaking of deployments, your passion fostered a family environment from the moment a service member and their family walked into the 6th, allowing for incredible support while loved ones are away and awesome returns when returning home. Vince, it is your passion that helped advance KC-10 full spectrum readiness and prepared the next generation of air refueling operators, regardless of what aircraft platform. Your passion for the mission also contributed and led to critical analysis and key discussions in divestment plans, with a big focus on what this means for squadron members and families. You never lost that passion for family or the family environment, and it certainly showed last summer during a difficult time for the squadron, where the culture you fostered and led provided hope, guidance, comfort, and love when members and families needed the embracement the most. We can talk missions flown or pounds of fuel offloaded. However, you cannot measure on paper the love and care you have for the 6th. Rather, it is measured by expressions in the hallways, willing conversations, and sustained openness. Intangibles, but you know the effects when seen. In his book, The Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday writes that great commanders look for decision points. For it is bursts of energy directed at decisive points that break things wide open. They press and press and press, and then Exactly when the situation seems hopeless, they pressed once more. Your pressing made sure the door to the 6th was open on so many levels and across so many organizations, across up and out with so many organizations, and where you could confidently advertise business is booming. Vince, what an incredible chapter in your career. I'm certainly grateful I was able to see your leadership firsthand. Be proud of your legacy, exceptional work. Patricia and I wish you the best as you transition over to the Program Integration Office and leading the efforts and people there. As we say goodbye, we also say welcome. Justin, simply put, you are the right person at the right time to take command of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron. In reading through your records, your supervisors and commanders identified your leadership gift early on. Starting as a captain, there were statements of future squadron commander, a true leader on squadron commander track, a benchmark leader and officer, and squadron commander spot on. Their coaching and mentoring, coupled with your focused efforts, dedication, and drive for excellence, has led to this phenomenal command opportunity. You bring perspective shaped through incredible depth, breadth, and credibility. A 2-time KC-10 instructor pilot, an evaluator pilot in Distinguished Visitor Airlift, fellowship graduate, aide de camp, and a little maintenance time I saw. The command track has brought you to the 6th where business is booming, and it is time to start writing the next chapter. We are happy for you, your family, and look forward to our time together. My charge to you is to boldly lead, care for your extender family, execute the mission with excellence and precision, and find opportunities to advance your squadron. To quote James Kerr's book Legacy, it is time to make your mark, your contribution. It is time to leave a legacy, your legacy. It is your time. So let's get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we present Lieutenant Colonel Livy with the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. Lieutenant Colonel Vincent B. Livy distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 6th Air Refueling Squadron, 60th Operation Group, 60th Air Mobility Wing, Travis Air Force Base, California. During this period, Colonel Livy commanded the Air Force's busiest of 8 KC-10 squadrons, leading the Enterprise fleet in total missions, executed sorties, flight hours, and cargo moves. Furthermore, he directed the squadron's largest ever renovation, championing a 146% increase in the squadron's annual budget to improve every facet of the unit, from extensive facility renovations and mission equipment purchases to a strategic communication system that simultaneously broadcasts critical information to every squadron work center. Additionally, Colonel Livy empowered his airmen to create, plan, and execute the first ever Pacific Tanker Symposium and Interflight exercise, developing full spectrum readiness tactics, techniques, and procedures with key allied nations, which culminated in the squadron receiving recognition as the 2019 Air Refueling Support Advisory Group Exceptional at Service to Aerial Refueling Award out of the 20 participating nations. Finally, the extenders outpaced their peers during Colonel Livy's tenure, twice earning the Wing's nomination for Senior Master Sergeant Al Evans Award for Best Air Refueling Section in the Air Force, and the Group Squadron of the Quarter Award for 4 of the 8 quarters under his command. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Livy reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Livy.
Okay. All right. So it was the mic, not me. It's good. I think they saw how long my speech was, and so that's why they started the national anthem early. We got to cut some time here. All right. Find a job you enjoy doing, and you will never have to work a day in your life. I always thought Mark Twain said that. But literally yesterday on Facebook, I saw that Confucius said it. And I probably could have done more research, but I didn't, because it doesn't really matter. Let's just all agree some old guy said it. But the point is, I don't enjoy giving up command much at all. So I guess you could say today's my first day of work in a very long time. I've sincerely enjoyed every single day of the past 26 months. And I'm reciting my social security number in my head so I don't cry. It's good. It's working so far. If I do have to give up the flag, though, and it's been made clear to me that I do, right? Yes, okay. I'm very glad to be handing it over to Lieutenant Colonel Alberico. More on you in a bit. So I have two main objectives for this speech. One, I have so many people that I need to say thank you to. It's a lot. Sorry, not sorry. And two, I want the extenders to realize just how special of a squadron they are. So before I begin my extensive thank you tour, I need to offer a special apology to protocol, to Leslie Whiterhouse and her team, because I won't be starting with the DVs in the front row today. Today I'd like to start with my family, who I very much intend to put first a little more often, starting right now. Colleen, ever the Colorado girl, you took command by the horns, and you rode this bull like it was your job. And what you've given to the 6th the last 2 years is nothing short of special. And that's the special thing about you. Because taking care of the 6th, it wasn't your job. And you gave it everything you had anyway. You didn't apply for command. You didn't get a special shiny medal like I did. And you don't have a very cool Extender 06 license plate. But you were there every step of the way. Not because it was your dream, but because you knew it was mine. And just as much as you were there for me, you were also there for the men and women of the 6th and their spouses and their babies and families and everything in between. I've never been more proud of you than to watch you grow in this role. You're a smart, beautiful, generous, caring woman, and your heart bled blue and yellow the past 2 years simply because you saw that my heart was bleeding blue and yellow. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. The squadron loves you because you helped us thrive. The kids and I love you because you keep us alive. Speaking of my kids, oh yeah, it's good. We're all still alive. Speaking of my kids, you guys sure do play Fortnite a lot. I never knew it was possible to play that much Fortnite. And now with current events going on in the world, it's like twice as much Fortnite as I thought was possible. So thanks, guys. Anyway, on to the next people. No, I want to say stuff about you. Hunter, I know you're a super cool high schooler, sometimes with a badass teenage mustache. But I'm gonna blow your cover. You really are the sweetest boy. You always have been. Don't ever lose that. Don't be afraid to show the world how sensitive and precious you are. I'm sensitive too. And don't be afraid to show the world how strong you are either. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. I love watching you show the world how wonderful you are, because you are. Skylar. Oh, teenage daughters. Sweet mother of God, teenage daughters. Sorry, Father. Teenage daughters are an enigma fathers have been trying to figure out since the beginning of time. I don't quite have you figured out, but I do know a few things. I know that you are enough, just the way you are. You're more than enough. You're smart, beautiful, and you're just now becoming your own person. Don't ever be afraid to camp out in a Fortnite bunker with a sniper rifle or wear bows in your hair the next day. You can do it all. You can be anything you want. Don't be afraid to study and succeed and fail and take things apart and poke and prod and grow and change your mind a million times. And in the very, very distant future, don't be afraid to make a guy wait a very long time for you to get ready, just like your mother does every time. Because you are worth it. You are perfect just the way you are. Doing all right, not crying. Parker, do not tell your brother and sister this, but you're our favorite. Now, before you let that get to your head, you should know that your brother and sister each took their turn as our favorite. It's just your turn. So enjoy it. Parky, you are so talented in so many ways. Your creativity is a gift, of which you have many. And you have the intellect to back it up. And Parker, you're so funny. It's okay for you to be the class clown and get straight A's at the same time. And draw and game and play the piano and dabble in the ukulele. You can do it all. You do not have to choose. I love you guys, and thank you for all of your sacrifices the last 2 years. Thank you. Okay, now the hard part's out of the way until the end, and then it gets hard again. So now on to the DVs. Colonel Jerome, Kelly, Chief and Donna Schultz, Miss Sandy, Colonel and Patricia Johnson, Chief Fiero, Honorary Commanders, Chief Select Reeson, who I finally met today, and fellow Squadron Commanders, thank you for being here today. I know Colonel Simmons couldn't be here, but if you're watching, sir, I look forward to watching you and Chief Schultz lead this wing, and I truly believe that you can trust Travis, and I want you to know that you can trust the 6th ARS. Colonel Jeff and Courtney Nelson and Chief Derek Crowder and Tia, you guys are a class act. I'm so happy I got to serve under you, and it was an honor for my hair to be the butt of Colonel Jelson's jokes at literally every speech he ever gave for 2 years. Colonel Nelson, it was a pleasure to relentlessly zap 6 ARS stickers on your house, on your car, on your office, on Miss Courtney, and every podium you ever spoke at. Chief Crowder and Tia, all I can say is wow. You guys are amazing. Thank you for everything you did to support our airmen. Miss Sandy, what can I say about Miss Golden Bear herself? You go to more wing events than I do. You are quite simply a ray of sunshine. Your smile, your enthusiasm, your little bottles of Fireball at every mess dress event I've ever been bored at, you are 1 in 6 million. And I'm so thankful to call you my friend. please invite me as your +1 to any fun wing event that the KC-46 PIO chief is not invited to. Our honorary squadron commander, Jerry, and his wife, Lisa Knight. The 6th is very lucky to have you on our team. COVID ruined a lot of big plans we had together, but I know you will continue to find ways to support the men and women of the 6th. Once a Marine, always a Marine, but the Air Force is lucky to have you serving with us now. I know we will be friends for a long time to come. To our previous honorary commander, Aditya, your enthusiasm for the Air Force is contagious. Thank you for your service to the 6th. To the change of command team, thank you for putting together this awesome event, especially Captain Christian Smith and Tech Sergeant Ben Klaus. There are at least 606 details associated with an event like this, and I know this was a heavy burden on you in addition to your normal jobs. I also have to applaud Protocol, our maintenance brothers, for this awesome venue, and all of the extenders who helped with the ceremony. Staff Sergeant Monfiero, thank you for narrating today, and good luck in the KC-46. Thanks to Father Jeff and your good friend. Thank you, sir, for putting everything into perspective and for reminding us that no one can carry the burdens of this life alone. Colonel Johnson, Patricia, you are a phenomenal command team. And even more importantly, you're phenomenal people. You are great humans. Colonel Simmons is big on trust, and that makes you the perfect OG. Thank you for trusting us. You didn't just trust us to lead, you also trusted us enough to let us fail. And that's important because pulling off big things often requires you to be bold. And you can't be bold if you're always looking over your shoulder. You can't lead scared. And sir, I haven't ever been scared a single day with you at the helm. I had 2 full paragraphs on you two, but my speech was 26 minutes long, and House told me I needed to cut some things, so I'm going to shorten it down to this. You two are everything the Air Force needs our leaders to be, and I will forever cherish my time serving with you. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. To my parents and extended family, Mom and Dad, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here today. Quite literally, so thank you for that. But I also wouldn't be on this stage if it wasn't for your love and support. Mom, you're always my biggest cheerleader. And Dad, I'm so proud to wear your wings and the wings of your father. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for being at every important event in my life. Bob and Nancy, you've always supported me like I was your own, even when you found me hiding in Colleen's closet at 2 in the morning back in 1995. Even then, you never turned your back on me. I hope your windows are more secure now than they were back then. Thank you for making it out to every major event in my professional and personal life. Tommy, Heather, Abigail, Theo, I never expected you guys to come all the way out from Chicago, but you did, and that means the world to me. You guys support me more than I deserve, and I'm proud to call you family. To the inner circle, the OG Players Club. 2 years ago, when Justin Longmire was handing the flag over to me, he said, "I think you are the finest men I've ever met." And I have to agree. And I mean that. We cuss and discuss and have our Whiskey Wednesdays, and we duke it out like brothers, but we always do it with mutual respect and understanding that we all care about our airmen. And that's the price of entry into our exclusive club, caring about our airmen. It's a club I'm proud to have been a part of. It'll be hard to leave the OG Players Club text chain, but I'm excited to join the newly established Graybeard text chain for exiled commanders. Speaking of which, Paul and Cabby, you guys swapped out earlier this summer, so it's unfortunate you couldn't be here, but I guess that's the price I must pay for asking for the absolute latest change of command date that I could. And I got it. September was off limits. Paul, you think so strategically that sometimes you hurt my little tactical brain. I'm glad we never got around to playing that board game you kept describing as Risk on steroids. You're going to do great things in the Air Force, and I miss you, brother. Cabby, I honestly don't know how you juggled everything. You have somewhere between 5 and 10 kids, all under the age of 3 or 5 or 7. I don't even know, but I do know that you and Amanda homeschooled said 5 to 10 kids, all while you ran the largest OSS in AMC. And you made it look easy. I've literally never seen you frazzled. Also, Cabby, you're in bed at 8 o'clock every night. And there's no follow-on joke here. I just think that's super weird. And I wanted to get that off my chest in a very public forum. But I miss you, brother. Swap. This wasn't my first impression of you, but when I sat back and really thought about it, I realized you actually don't talk a whole lot. But when you do, it's usually a right hook of sobriety and nothing but the truth. And because of that, when you do talk, people listen. And for good reason. You're a buzzy little bee. And you help #Barb run a fine organization. You're smart, capable, very well-read, and a very good man. Brian, you're relatively new to the Players Club, but you aren't new to the ops group. And from the moment you took the guide on, you jumped right in. And you immediately became an indispensable part of our group. And you're a good dude. And that matters a lot. You have the same strategic mind that Paul did, and the Double Deuce is lucky to have you. Narc, Nate. Nate's the newest member of the OG Players Club for a few more minutes, at least. You have my utmost respect for the gauntlet you're about to run. It's trial by fire, buddy. Running the OSS is no joke. You have a big job, and I would be happy to give you some pointers so that you could do the opposite. It would probably work out well for you. Stubby, it was no coincidence that this change of command started at 0906. It's a tribute to you, good sir, and the squadron you lead. As the only 2 squadrons on this base that are mirror images of each other, the 6th and 9th have a friendly rivalry. But we are teammates more than we are rivals. And our bond has only been strengthened by our friendship. You are my brother. I will miss talking to you at 2 in the morning about nothing and everything. The 9th is lucky to have you, and so am I. To the top 4, House, Marcus, and Daryl. I could ask for no finer a command team. You guys were the sounding board I needed, the counsel I couldn't do without, the compass that pointed me north, and our friends I will keep forever. Where's House? Yeah. Okay. Daryl, I'm sorry you have to stand for this whole thing. This is terrible. House, you are wicked good. The most versatile and knowledgeable officer I've ever met. I think anyone else with your experience, your connections, and your abilities would have been a threat to a commander. Because you cast a big shadow. But I never once felt that way. You never sought the spotlight. You always put me first, even when I didn't deserve it. And you always had the heart of a servant leader. And because of that, I was able to set you loose and watch you shine. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Jerome, for your boss, House needs to command a squadron at Travis Air Force Base next summer. Sorry, they gave me a microphone. I'm going to use it for good. Marcus, when you speak, the squadron listens. Because everything that comes out of your mouth is about taking care of airmen. The praise and recognition you give to the men and women of the 6th is sincere and it's from the heart. You always had my back, and I want you to know, brother, I will always have yours. You're going to make a great chief someday. I just know it. Daryl, again, I'm sorry you're still standing. You have mastered both sides of the first sergeant's coin like a pro. On one side, you delivering meals to our airmen in the dorms, checking on their families, and being an active participant in our Key Spouse program. And on the other side of the coin, you help me administer punishments and maintain good order and discipline. I literally finished in Article 15 on that podium 5 minutes before this ceremony started. And that's not an easy role to fill. And it takes a special person to be a first sergeant. When everything looks like a nail, you only want to use a hammer. But you always brought me the entire toolbox. And no matter what side of the coin we are on, you always help me do it with compassion. To our key spouses, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you guys are my favorite people because your job is to take care of people, and that's my job too. So our interests were always perfectly aligned. Brittany, Sarah, Caroline, Carly, Megan, Casey, Savannah, Crystal, Brandy, Kayla, and Ashley, you guys are what makes the Air Force great. Justin and Emily Alberico. The change of command should be more about the unit than the individuals on the stage. And Justin has been soaking up the squadron since we started turnover in February. You're ready, bud? This is it. In a few minutes, your family is going to grow by over 206 people. You will play a part in their hopes and dreams, failures and successes, laughs and cries. Always remember, we fly airplanes for the United States Air Force, but you're now in the people business. If you take care of the people, the airplanes will be just fine. I want to wish you and Emily the best of luck, and I also want to apologize because I'm not changing my license plate. To the 6th, I want you to know, I'm almost done, I promise. I want you to know just how special you are, just how impressive you are, just how dominating you are. You truly are the best of America. And if that sounds like a generic compliment, let me help make it a little bit more real. It's no accident that the 6th ARS is the busiest KC-10 squadron in the Air Force, and not in an inconsequential way. Out of all 8 active duty and reserve squadrons, the 6th ARS leads the fleet in total hours flown, total sorties flown, total cargo carried. You are nothing less than exceptional. You've been named the #1 air refueling section in the Air Force out of 57 tanker squadrons, a record 6 times. That's double the amounts of the next most winningest squadron in the Air Force. And you've won the wing nomination for the trophy, and you've been the wing nomination for the trophy the last 4 consecutive years in a row. That's not a track record created by luck. You are the best. And it's no coincidence that in AMC's largest wing, you were the squadron of the quarter in AMC's largest group, 5 of the last 9 quarters, having just won again yesterday. Think about that for a minute. That's a dominating performance in a field of dominating squadrons. AMC sends their best to Travis Air Force Base, and the 6th ARS is the best of the best. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that our accomplishments today are built upon the proud history of those who came before us as we celebrate our 80th anniversary. From World War II to the current conflicts of today, the 6th ARS has been woven into the fabric of history throughout it all. It's easy to think that the KC-10 deployed to the Middle East after September 11, 2001. But the truth is, the 6th had already been continuously deployed for 10 years at that point. This squadron went to war 30 years ago today, as of this Sunday, and it has never come home. You are the sharpest blade, made of the strongest steel, wielded by the most dedicated and resilient people I have ever met. I am eternally humbled to have been a part of your team, and I mean it when I say, you are special. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me be a part of your team. Well, I guess that's it. Justin, it's time for us to get down to the business at hand, because our business is booming.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Levy. At this time, on behalf of the men and women of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Senior Master Sergeant Hewitt will render a final salute to the outgoing commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony. Attention to orders. Special Order 2032, dated 24 July 2020. Lieutenant Colonel Justin Alberico is appointed Commander, 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Travis Air Force Base, California, effective 31 July 2020, under authority of the Air Force Instruction 51509.
Sir, your English command.
Sir, I assume command.
On behalf of Colonel Johnson, it is my pleasure to introduce the new commander of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Justin Alberico.
To whom much is given, much is required. My family and I are here today not because of anything we have done, but because of what is expected. We have been charged with fueling the fight, and more importantly, with the nurturing and development of 162 of America's most talented and service-oriented sons and daughters. What an incredible responsibility and blessing. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for the opportunity to be here this morning. These persons, Colonel Duran, Mrs. Duran, Chief and Mrs. Schultz, Justin, Chief Fierro, Jerry and Lisa Knight, thank you for taking the time to be with my family and me on this very special day. Colonel Johnson, thank you, sir, for your trust and for the opportunity to lead the finest air refueling squadron in our Air Force. Thank you also for the warm welcome that you and Miss Patricia afforded us and our family. To my former commanders, mentors, professional colleagues, and friends, this day has only come to pass because of the deliberate investment each of you has made in me. I will do my very, very best to honor your efforts by paying it forward. While my out-of-town family, Mom, Dad, Mama, Pops, Stephanie, Brad, Felicia, Brian, Monica, and Christopher could not be present today due to the pandemic, I want to offer my heartfelt gratitude for their love and support. To my daughters, Maddie and Sophia, and my sons, Jude and Jacob, you are the crown jewels of our marriage, and I'm excited to embark upon this next chapter with you. To my bride, Emily, we are here because you have supported me and been the bedrock of our family these last 15 years. I love you. Many thanks also to Captain Smith, Lieutenant Lewis, Tech Sergeant Klaus, Staff Sergeant Monfiero, and the entire Protocol and Public Affairs team for making today's ceremony so memorable. To my fellow squadron commanders of the 60th Operations Group, Emily and I cannot wait to learn from you and share this experience together. To Vince and Colleen Livy and your family, we are so very proud to follow you in taking the reins of this unit. You have served in incredibly fine fashion and should relish what you have accomplished in the last 2 years. Finally, to the men and women of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, make no mistake that your reputation for excellence precedes you. From the unit's proud history of heavy bombardment in the Pacific theater of World War II, to the projection and loiter capability afforded by the mighty KC-10 in the skies over the Middle East, the 6th has consistently delivered with professionalism and poise. I have no doubt that your achievements and distinguished record of performance will continue to resonate across our Air Force. I am proud to join this illustrious team and am excited to serve with you. Vis extensa.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Alberico. At this time, on behalf of the men and women of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Senior Master Sergeant Hewitt will render a first salute to the new commander. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Alberico. We look forward to your leadership and guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our change of command ceremony. We thank you for joining us and hope you have a wonderful day.